Let's talk about what a concussion is. Obviously, it's an injury to the brain. Changes your normal functioning of the brain. Can go from mild to severe. All right, ding, getting a bell rung. There's a person out there in this world who I consider pretty much like a little brother. He was a professional umpire, and I use the word was. In 3 pitches, he took two baseballs off the bat in the same location. That was going on, I think, 5-6 years now. And without going into too much of the story, he is still unable to function. He cannot drive a car. He cannot work for more than 3 to 4 hours at a time without having to shut his body down. And he got hit in the head with the mask on, with his equipment on. He just happened to be in the series of 3 pitches, got hit twice. And they happened to go in the same location. So for those of you who think, it's no big deal, cool ball run, it's a huge deal. Because we're not talking about, you're going to have to sit out the next week. We're talking about things that are not, this isn't about you losing opportunities as the umpire. This is a lot about losing opportunities in your life. All right? Symptoms: amnesia, confusion, headache, numbness, loss of consciousness, and trouble sleeping. These do not occur the same night. These can occur as much as a week to 2 later. All right? You can have double vision, nausea. You can feel tired, just, can't wake up. All right? You feel irritable. You're grouchy all the time all of a sudden. Do you start forgetting things almost as soon as you were told what they were? These are just some of the symptoms. All right, if you think you might have a concussion, don't hide it. All right, do not hide it. That's the first thing. Second thing is report it. All right, there's no problem with calling myself, calling Alex. If you're working a college game for me, calling me, or calling Alex or Steve and saying, look, I got hit in the head last night. I'm not feeling too good. All right? Okay? They can do that. They'll take you out. It's not a problem. The sooner you get checked out, the better, but you have to go get checked out. All right? Again. And then the big thing is take time to recover. Don't just come right back on it. In rare cases, repeat concussion can cause permanent brain damage and even death. These are the danger zones. We're going to talk about this when we go back here, but in the green area, that's that area which we refer to as a slot. All you guys working cage work have heard that, right? Get in the slot, get in the slot, get in the slot. You guys have all heard that before. All right, that's nothing new for you. All right? Well, we want to keep you in that slot. Why? It's also the safest spot for you. Okay? As you move out over the catcher and even further out over the outside shoulder of the catcher, that's when you're going to get in the danger area. Why? Believe it or not, it has nothing to do, you're not worried about the ball that the catcher doesn't catch. You're worried about the ball that comes off the bat. Because when the bat makes contact with the ball, it speeds up the rotation of that baseball. Which means when it makes contact with you, it's going faster than when the pitcher let it go. All right? Guys, everybody makes fun of the fact that everybody's about the buckets, okay? And that's fine. We all make fun of it, but they are protective. They do save. All right? I'm not telling you have to buy one. I never wore one. I never liked them. I couldn't get comfortable with it. All right? But there's nothing wrong with it. Again, we're going to talk about, when we get back here in the back for a second, we're going to talk about setting up in the slot and working the proper head height and angle. This is very important. All All right? When we're working the slot, we want to get set up off the batter, not the catcher. Something that may be a little bit new for some of you. All right? We're not going to get set up too early, which is a very common thing among all umpires, is getting set up too early. We're going to keep our head still as the pitch comes in. A lot of us like to move our head. We don't even notice sometimes. Sometimes we have to have an actual videotape done of us, because we'll sit there and say, no, I don't move my head, I don't move my head. Then you see the video and you see that you do. All right? And we want to track with your eyes. In other words, we want to keep our head still and let our eyes be the only one that does all the movement. These are some pictures of guys working in the slot. It doesn't matter if you're working the scissors or working in the box. We want to get in that area that's safe. Top of the catcher's head and at the proper angle. You can see we're on the right. The head is too far down. It's not protected. Guys, get ready for the season now. Don't wait for the first week. Don't let the first 3 or 4 games be what gets you in shape to get to through the rest of the year. And we all do it. I'm famous for it. I'll let that first Friday, Saturday, and Sunday non-conference series be my opportunity to get in shape for the rest of the year. Okay, start doing that earlier. Okay, because one of the things that you're going to notice here is that every single year you umpire, even the young ones, you're getting a year older. All right. How old? No, hey, I'm in the same boat. All right. How old are the kids on a high school baseball team? A year in and year out, they're 16 to 18. How old are the kids on a college team? Year out, they're 18 to 21. Okay? Every single year, you keep getting older. All right? Get in shape, start working out earlier. All right? That means be conscious of what you eat and drink. They can hide the signs of a concussion. What do you mean by that? Don't go pop, if you get hit in the head before a game, don't go down 2 Tylenol and chase it with 6 beers. All right? Because those are alcohol, and some of the foods you can eat can hide and mask the symptoms of a concussion. But almost just as important is if you see your partner get dinged, you look at your partner and you're concerned, why are you letting him finish the game? To me, it's just as much of you. Aren't you guys a team? So if he gets hit, it's the same as you getting hit, right? If you're truly a team, why are you letting him finish? If you see a concussion, or you think your partner has a concussion, you need to take a stand and not let him finish. You're not doing it for your good. You're doing it for their good and for the game. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, let's turn around and head to the back. Think of this as a new little concept. We want you to aim yourself off of the batter. Because the batter's going to he's either going to give you a slot or take a slot away, correct? He's either going to squeeze the plate or he's going to take it back off the plate. In this instance, Tom is backwards a little bit, Tom. Right? Dave, what Dave's doing is you see how Tom moved back a little bit? What did Dave do? He moved because he's adjusting with him. He's adjusting with the batter. Why? Because the catcher is going to move. He's not going to stay in the same place. All right? So our slot area, our safety zone, right in here, is based off of what this person is giving us. All right? Not necessarily what the catcher is doing, because we don't know what he's doing yet. So as he squeezes, the umpire has to squeeze down with it. Okay? Now, right now Dan is set up pretty much right down the middle of the plate. Agreed? Okay? Right now, as Dave gets set, Dave right has a perfect angle right underneath the hands of the batter. Everybody sees that, right? Now, when Dan moves, squeezes in, now look what happens. What does Dave have to do? He has to get lower. This is something that is different than maybe what you have been taught in the past. So what been taught was if he squeezes you and you both get squeezed, to work up and over, right? I'm seeing a lot of people shake their heads. What does the chart show you if you work up and over? You're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. The idea is this. It's not about going up and over. You have to go lower. You have to get under the hands. Well, Darrin, if I get under the hands, does that mean there's a good chance I'm not going to see the release from the pitcher? Is that correct? Guess what? That's absolutely correct. You're not going to see it. So well, then how do I call it? Guess what? You have to fight it, and you have to pick up the ball as it comes in. You will probably lose the release point. But you know what will happen? You'll be safer. You'll be safer. That's why it's so important to learn to track with your eyes and not move your head. All right? A lot of us, quite honestly, after doing this for as long as I have, the major difference between a high school umpire and a college umpire is tracking. Tracking, it makes the biggest difference. Okay? Because the baseballs at the college level break more than the high school level, and tracking is the key. Just like in professional baseball, the difference between most college guys and professional baseball is tracking. It's about tracking with your eyes. All right? So, yes, if you get squeezed, you have to work lower. Get under the hands, get your eyes prepared, find the baseball, track it to the mitt. All right? Now, back up a little bit, Tom. If Dan goes to the outside corner, how many guys here are going to go with him?
Raise your hand.
Come on. Don't lie. Who's going to go with him? Because you're scared of getting hit, and that's okay. I know a lot of guys that would sit there and say, yeah, I'm going to go with him. But where do we get set up off of? The batter. And where is the batter? So if the catcher moves outside, look what we have. He's giving you the slot, you take it. All right? He gives you the slot, you take it. Is that making sense to everybody? Everybody gets that? Okay? It's about, we start off with, we're taking the slot, that slot belongs to us until the catcher takes it away from us. And when he takes it away from us, then we're going to drop lower. We're going to go lower. We're going to put our eyes underneath the batter's hands. All right? And we're going to get our eyes ready to start tracking as soon as we see that baseball come through. All right? It's not easy. It's not easy. It's hard. If it was meant to be easy, then we wouldn't be doing this. But I'd rather you sit there and possibly have to call the mitt, call where he catches it, than you getting hit in the head and not being able to call at all. Is that everybody clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about this at all? Yes.
Yeah, where do you set up that outside foot? On the batter, on the heels of the batter?
No. How in the college ranks we teach plate work is we don't talk about our feet.
Okay.
We talk about targeting with the chest. All right? And this is the reason why. I'm going to actually, if we target with the chest, okay, I'm going to put my chest and I'm going to develop a little bit of an angle. Not enough where I'm going to lose my protection, but just a little bit of an angle so that I have both eyes focused over the strike zone. Whereas if I'm square, I only have one eye in the strike zone and one eye out of the strike zone. Okay? So just not very much. It's about maybe 10 degrees, if that. But we're not going to get into numbers per se. But I'm going to target with my chest. All right? My feet are going to be together. Wherever Tom sets up, I'm going to follow him so that I'm feeding off his. So I'm staying in his slot area. Okay? I'm not worried about the catcher this time. So now I'm in the slot. Dan, you move wherever you want. Dan sets up outside a little bit. Now I have the slot. I'm not going to go with him. Now if I naturally just spread my feet naturally, if I'm working the box, all right, and get set, my feet will automatically take me to heel toe. I don't have to sit there and put the feet into the concrete, which we see a lot of guys do. All right, because what happens is I put my feet in the concrete, I'm set. All right, I'm basing it off him, Dan sitting there, okay, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Now I'm all set, Tom's setting here. Now Dan squeezes. Now look what happened. I can't make an adjustment because if I go down, I'm gonna put my knee right into his back. Whereas if I stand up, back in the middle, start over. If I stand up, I'm targeting with my chest. All right, Tom's now set. Now Dan moves. I can make my adjustments as needed, and down I'm at. Without forcing him, I'm gonna let him make his final adjustment before I go down. But when that happens, my feet will automatically go to heel and toe. But I don't use my feet to target my chest into the strike zone. I use my chest to target into the strike zone. Any ex-military guys here? How many people here heard of a gig line? All right, that's the main thing when we're working the plate, all right? And we're talking about getting squeezed. It's not just a squeeze, but at any time, we want to keep our gig line straight at all times. For those of you who don't know a gig line, hoorah. All right, we want to have basically our nose, chin, buttons, belt buckle, zipper, all in a straight line. All right, what changes that gig line? What will move it? So our shoulders. We take a shoulder, we lean a shoulder one way or the other. All right, our hips. Do we bend with one knee a little bit more than the other, or with our hips one way or the other? Okay, but when it comes down to it, what we're talking about is set off of this guy here, not him. Everybody good there? Any questions on that?
You good, Dave?
We good?
All right.